Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Dan Laird. I am a academic project manager with CTS, and I am the project manager for the SET program, which is Student Evaluations of Teaching, otherwise known as course evaluations. So this was set up a few years ago in a system called AEFIS. I'm sure if you're here, you're probably well aware of that system. Um, so I don't think I need to get too much into the history of it. This session, I'm going to share with you how to get to the reporting and how to download those reports from AEFIS for the course evaluation information. So let me share my screen. Okay, so in order to get to this, you need to log into AEFIS. Well, I'm sorry. You need to log into Helio Campus. It is no longer called AEFIS, even though the URL is that, because we haven't come up with a good subdomain to change it to yet. So go to aefis.oswego.edu and log in, and this will be probably the screen that you will see. This is the dashboard for the system. My friend Liz was kind enough to let me use her account, because if I use mine, you're going to see a lot of stuff that only admins can see and wouldn't be a fair representation of what you'll probably get a look at. So this is as an instructor. I know there are people that are staff and department admins, and you will see probably more than this can see. And if you have any specific questions on pulling in multiple courses, we can go over that. But for now, I'm just going to pretend that I'm an instructor, and I'm going to go in here to see what my results are from the surveys. So to me, there's two ways to get reports out of the system. There is this report module that is usually in your dashboard, and you can go to the report library, which I'm going to show you, and it will have a couple different reports that you can do. This is more granular, and you can get into more detail. It's fine, but I tend to show people a different avenue, and whatever way you want to get to the reports, um, you know, go that route. But the one that I choose more often, I go into the menu and I go to Survey Manager. So right now there are filters that show me specific terms. I'm going to be interested in looking at fall 2024. So if you have a filter in here that doesn't relate to the term that you want to pull from, just get rid of these. And if you get rid of those, it will show you everything you have access to. Well, actually, I stand corrected. It will show you everything, regardless if you have access to it, because you can go into here, say this is for biology. You won't be able to see the results. It just shows all of the surveys that are available. So, but I'm going to add a filter. So click on add a filter and go to term. And like I said, I'm going to be interested in fall 2024. So this should give us the 15 survey campaigns that were set up. So for the majority, like the vast majority of campus, except for biology, because they have a certain setup. And if we have difficulty with a course, like if for some reason the setup wasn't correct, sometimes we'll run another survey run. So you might see something like a random course that didn't get grabbed for whatever reason. But the vast majority, 99% of the campus, you're going to want to look for the largest survey, the one that has almost everyone in it. So if you scroll down, it will be the one that looks like this, that has around over 26,000 sections, or not sections. I'm sorry. That's respondents. It's 1,329 sections. So this is the big one that almost everyone falls under. So unless you're in biology, this is most likely where you will go. If you are in biology, we can go over how that works, but I'm just going to assume everyone here is not. So you find this and you click on manage. This will bring you to the dashboard for the survey for this term. And you can go into survey results. But to pull up, it's a lot of data. So since I am under Liz's account, and Liz is in economics, the only thing I should be able to see are my economics courses. So that is in the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. Here's the department. So actually, in this case, Liz is actually a department admin. So she is able to see others because department admins have that ability. But let's say I know Liz does money and banking. So if I click on this, this will show the number of sections if there's more than one section for this course. And here's her ON1 section that she said I could show you the top level of, just to give an example. So you find your course in here, and then you click on the results. This will bring up the data from the survey. You have a couple different options. I'm just going to show you real quick because I said I would show the first question because this is not, sensitive data. So it'll have a list of all the questions that were answered and, how many for each one, and have, the average, median, mode, and standard deviation and variance. So it will give you that information. And it'll also give you the open-ended, if your department has open-ended questions, it will give you a list of the responses to that. So you can pull this by PDF, by CSV, Excel file. You can pull one that just has the text responses. So if you just want to see what the comments are at the end, you can pull that. So this gives you an aggregate. This is the course section aggregate results. So if you want to look at individual ones, click on this. And it will allow you to see each submitted course evaluation. And there's more options with what you can export from that. So whatever data you're looking for, you can just pull this one, or you can pull each one as its own file in a zip file. So you have a couple different options on how you can get the data out of here. So that in a nutshell is how to get to the data and to pull the reports. I'm going to go into the other report module and show you how that works. Does anyone have any questions about how it works from this avenue?
So Dan, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, so I usually just on the front page, there's a block associated with surveys, and I've always gotten my reports that way. You just show me a different way of getting at reports. Just looking to hear if I'm just looking at my own and it gives me a block on the front page. I could see a department chair, other people may need to see more, but can you just quickly say why I would go through the menu and filtering and so on?
Well, the report module has a few fields in it that can be confusing if you don't understand how it works. This way, it's more intuitive because you know which term you're going to specifically. There's definitely more powerful options in the other avenue if you know how to run reports. But if you're just someone looking for your data from one term and you want to get it this way. It doesn't really matter which way you do it. I'm just showing you the way that I prefer to do it, and I'm going to show the other way, so it doesn't really make much of a difference. I don't know if that answered your question. So coming back here at your dashboard, here's the report module. So you can go in here. Something that is useful for this, if you are a department admin and would like to pull like a trend analysis across multiple terms, that's something you can do. Most people, if they're just looking for results by instructor, just looking for a particular instructor and their courses, this is the one that you would want to do. So that's the one I'm going to go through right now. So in here, you can pick the term. We've been using this since 2022, I believe, but you can pick multiple terms actually if you want to, and it will list them if you so choose. So you can do it this way if you want to pull all your data. So I'm just going to stick with one to keep it simple. And I'll probably just, do the one I was looking at. So there are some other options in here, and you don't have to select all of them to get what you want. For instance, like there's a star next to the ones that you absolutely need to do. I'm going to do the money and banking again. So click on that. And there's different levels of questions you can do. I'm just going to run the report as it is in here. So this will give me a report that has the response rate. This does not give me individual results. This gives me a high level overview of what the average is for each question. So there's 11 responses for this survey. The average of them is listed here, and we'll show you that throughout. Questions that have text, there will be a list of the responses in here. I'm not going to go down and show you because, obvious reasons. So that's another way to pull the data. If you want to get, actually, this is kind of ties in with everything that I'm talking about. If you go back to the report library, oh, wait, that's too far out. Sorry. Go back in here. So money and banking. Let's see. Schedule. So I must admit, I'm not an expert at this interface, and that is partially why I go the other way, because it's easier for me to visually see it rather than use these pull downs. So let's see. Actually, to get what I need, I think I need to do the course evaluation analysis. Yes. So in here, it's still grabbing what I want. Let's see. Student course evaluation, instructor type. So this one, if you choose, I'm sorry, the course evaluation and analysis, rather than the course evaluation analysis by instructor, it will give you this ability to see the results of all the questions rather than just giving you the high level overview of the average and the standard deviation. So if I click on this, it will actually bring me to the reports that I just showed you going the other avenue. So this brings you into the same spot, and you can do the same options in here to get the information that you want. So if I go back, so you can, if you have multiple courses and you just wanted to see like the response rates, I don't know if that's anything that anyone is particularly interested in, but if I pull in, actually, let me see if I can do it here. Back too far. Course evaluation analysis. And if I choose all of these and go to run report, it should give me a yes. So if I wanted to see all of the responses, like for myself, or if I'm a department admin and I want to see, you know, how it looks, or if, you know, you're a dean and you want to see how the entire school that you are in charge of does, that's something that can be done. If you click on this and export, select all, thank you. You can pull this data into different ways of reporting it as well. So that's pretty much the reporting in a nutshell. Like I said, I'm not an expert with these selection screens. I'm sure you can get your data in multiple different ways if you play around with it, but this is where you go to get the data from the system of the response rates and the answers for those evaluations. So did anybody have any questions before we wrap up?
I don't know if this was already addressed, but sometimes on the old AEFIS page, they had just a My Course Evaluations hub, which just had some of the more recent course evaluation links. Will that still be there?
It should be. It depends on if you're still in the same term, I believe. Like if there was something like that would show up in here. I don't think. Oh, yeah, there you go. Yes, it does show up. Sometimes it's in different spots for different people. I don't know why. Maybe they've moved it around because you can change what your dashboard looks like. But yes, this is something that normally will show recent results of courses that you've taught. So
Yeah,
and then you can,
saying, Dan, that's why I never had to really navigate to it.
yep. If you click on the menu next to this, then you can dig down into the results. So
Exactly.
yeah. So this is, yeah, the easier way to do recent ones. But if you want to dig deeper, then you'll have to do one of the other avenues.
Exactly.
Like you want to go to older, yeah, terms. So, or, you know, combine data from multiple terms, then you would have to, yeah, go into the reporting module. So,
All right, we do have a couple more minutes if anybody has any questions.
I am, yeah, if you don't come up with anything now, feel free to email me, daniel.laird@oswego.edu. This is our SET page, and it has the schedule for each semester, just so you're aware that this exists. So if you're doing different sessions, this is the schedule for those evaluations to be sent out. And if you go down the page, there's a list of best practices to increase student survey participation. This is a list of things that came out of a task force regarding student evaluations, and it's also other things that faculty have suggested over the past couple of years about increasing participation rates. And then at the bottom, there is tutorials on just about what I just showed you. Like there's a video that shows you how to get into the data and other ways of pulling it. So just want to let you know that this resource is out there. It's oswego.edu/CTS/SET. So that's it for me.
Well, thank you, and thanks everybody for attending.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you.
No problem.